Hey guys, it's Carl here. In this video, I'm sharing a clip of a recent interview I've been through where I was speaking to a co-founder at a fintech startup. This clip focused mostly on the last part of the interview, which is, do you have any questions from me? And in my opinion, this is actually one of the most important part in any interviews for you to leave a good impression on the hiring manager. So I think this can be very helpful for people, especially for people that's currently prepping for interviews. But I wouldn't recommend you to completely copy my answer or anything I said in any of your future interviews, because every single conversation is different. If you're talking to someone that's at a startup who's really deep into entrepreneurship versus when you're talking to someone that's in banking for the past 10, 15, 20 years, and their job and role hasn't changed for the past 10 years, and they could be looking for completely different things. So this video is really just for you to use as a reference, get a sense of what it looks like when you're talking to a startup, what are some possible questions you can ask, and make your version of it. And of course, I muted or fast forward some of the little details, personal or confidential information or things I'm not comfortable sharing right now. I still think this can be very helpful for people that's prepping for interviews, and only put Chinese subtitles for this first part because I'm so lazy. Anyways, enjoy the content.
Got it. Okay. Makes sense. Thanks for walking me through that and answering follow-up questions. Last couple of questions for me. I realize we're actually almost at time. Are you okay to go over a couple of minutes?
Sure, yeah. No worries.
More admin related. We usually like to work in person. It's probably like 4 to 5 days a week in person. Are you okay with that? Our office is downtown Toronto.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. And then when are you looking to start if everything works out?
Ideally, upon getting an offer in 2 weeks.
And then I think you would have mentioned it, like if you went through LinkedIn or you went through the job form, you would have mentioned salary there, but can you just remind me the salary expectations?
Is there like a range that you can share at this point?
Yeah, our range is, so I think like we might be there because we're at the sort of bottom end of your range.
Okay.
So for me, I think we're okay. And then I'll just share a process and what it looks like. Role is going to be pretty analytical. So next is a data task. So you're given a data set. There's a problem in it. Identify what the problem is. Pitch the solution. I think on average, takes like 2 or 3 hours to complete. And then the step after that is a video call with who's on our strategy and operations team. He's based in London. And then for the final, we'll just do like an in-person coffee at our office. It'll probably be an hour. It'll be me, my co-founder. Then we might bring in like someone from sales or marketing or from the rest of the team. So that's the process in a nutshell. And I know I didn't give you any time to ask questions, so I can stay as long as you want. What sort of questions do you have for me?
For sure, yeah. You mentioned the reason you're hiring for this role and the kind of sort of the gap that you're looking to fill from this role. I wonder if that's something that's already started, the operation part. Is that someone the team is already working on, or it's just something that you intend to do in the future, that function? I see. And also, can you, I don't know if this is something you can share, but I wonder what's the roadmap looking like. Let's just say today is December 31st, 2023, and you have a roadmap for 2024. And what does that look like back then? And what have you achieved over this 11 months so far in 2024? Like, is everything in line? Are you on track?
You're asking me this question 1 year ago. What were your plans? And then fast forward now. Did you meet the goals and plans for this year?
Yeah.
Yeah, we far exceeded it. So.
Got it. That sounds good. And then for the next 6 months to a year, what is the main thing that a company is looking to grow? Is it more like the customer number, the structure, or it's more about the revenue? Got it. Also, in terms of this role, I wonder, because the job description, I know it mentions some specific responsibilities, but it seems to me it's still a little vague. So what do you think is a key thing that you're looking for in a candidate for that? Are you looking for any relevant, specific experience or very specific skills?
I would say like the hard skills or technical skills like SQL or Python or that sort of stuff, that's like a bonus. I think the mandatory ones are someone that knows what they're signing up for and they're ready to work quite hard, because we're an early stage company. We're very small. It means it's going to be longer hours. It means it's going to be a lot of work because we're sort of moving so quickly. So I would say someone that's okay with that. Someone that has low or no ego, because whatever problem that comes up, someone's going to have to jump on it. So someone that's okay doing whatever it takes and whatever the business needs at that time. And then I would say 3 and 4 is someone that's a self-starter. Like, don't wait for permission. Don't sort of like, if you identify a problem and you think you know how to solve it, like, I would much rather you come and say, hey, Sam, like, there was this problem with like onboarding and I fixed it. And like, here's what we did. Rather than like, hey, I think we have a problem with onboarding. What do you think we should do? Like, that's not the right fit. And then I give you like a very long list. I think the last one I'd say is someone that's able to learn quickly. So they don't like, not expecting someone to come in with a specific skill set or knowledge base, but someone that's able to learn quickly and get up to speed.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Also, based on my research for the company, I see that a lot of the current employees at the company comes from, which you just mentioned. I wonder how did this team come together? I know exit Canada. Was that the point where you guys just like, oh, we're all looking for a job and why don't we just start something new? Like how did they came together? How do you look for the initial, funding team?
Yeah, I would say even when...
Got it. I know you mentioned the performance for the company kind of exceeded what you initially visioned for 2024. Can you give me one example of the biggest challenge or biggest problem that the company solved in 2024? Like a massive challenge you guys encounter and then you kind of get through.
I don't want to jinx it. I feel like we've been relatively lucky. There hasn't been like one like life or death scenario or something like that.
And I just have my last question here, which is more specific to the gap you just mentioned in terms of the customer operation part. And this is also to ask how the company operate. Let's just say you're looking to fill the gap for the customer operation. And if I figure out a solution, is there any preference in terms of building out an automatic approach to solve that problem? Or if I'm able to, what are some other alternative solution is to outsource those customer support to, cheaper countries, right? That could be a solution. Is there any preference for that? Like in terms of an ROI perspective, if I was able to solve that problem from using that, I know a lot of companies don't want to do that, right? Because the customer support quality can be bad if you outsource those functions to other countries. Got it. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I think that's all of my questions so far. I thank you for going at length to answer those questions. Very detailed answer. I would say confirm my interest as well.
Awesome. Well, I really enjoyed our conversation. I see potential. I think there might be a good fit. So I want to move you forward to the next round. So I'll send you an email right after this. Cool. Well, really good chatting. Thanks so much for the time. I'll send you that email. If you have any questions, let me know.
For sure.
But otherwise, have a great weekend.
You too. Nice.